Hey everybody, it's low carb and keto nutritionist Amy Berger from 2itnutrition.com bringing you another video in doing keto without the crazy. Do you believe it's really me? Do you not know it's me until you see me with the coffee mug? Now you know. Oh, okay, thank goodness that's Amy. That's not an imposter. Just as a little point of interest, this is my favorite coffee mug of all time. I've had this for a long time. I mentioned in a video ages ago that I'm a Superman junkie. I'm a little Superman fan. And it's probably hard to make out on the video, but it actually says NY behind him, and it's got all these New York scenes. Might be, you can see maybe the Statue of Liberty is there, and I don't know if you can make it out, but the Twin Towers are actually in there. That's how old this mug is. Pre 9/11, pre 2001 purchase, long time ago, when, you know, the Twin Towers still existed and you could see them in the sky, and they put them on mugs. So, and how great are my fans? I have the best fans. Fans brought me this at a conference once because they saw me have a little tea towel on top of my coffee mug in a video, because it just helps keep the steam from escaping. It just keeps the coffee hot longer. And they brought me this little silicone tomato topper, which is designed to do exactly that. Okay, on to business. Just a reminder that my book, The Stall Slayer, is available now on Amazon. You can get it as a paperback book or you can get it for Kindle. It's also available as a PDF. If you just want to download a PDF version, go to the website stallslayer.com. There's a link below. So there's also a link to Amazon from Stall Slayer if you want to learn a little more about the book, stallslayer.com. Now, I am not just plugging the book. I'm bringing up the book because what are we talking about today? We're talking about weight loss. And if you've sort of watched my channel for any amount of time, you know that I try to make it a point to emphasize that low carb and ketogenic diets are not always for weight loss. This way of eating is therapeutic for so many different issues, totally unrelated to body weight, right? I've done videos on PCOS, on migraines, on gout, on hypertension, on type 1 diabetes. I did one on men's health, so like prostate enlargement, erectile dysfunction. I don't even remember what else. Anyway, the point is, this way, the skin, I don't know if I did a video on that. I think I did, for skin tags, eczema, acne, psoriasis. So, even if you are not interested in weight loss, you don't have any weight to lose, keto might be really helpful for you if you're living with a long list of stuff. However, today we are talking about weight loss. And the title of this video, why are you trying to lose weight? Have you ever asked yourself that? If you are in this keto thing for the purpose of weight loss, why? And that's not a good or bad question. It's not a judgment question. It's something for you to honestly ask yourself. Why am I trying to lose weight? What do I think is going to change about my life if I was in a smaller body? Now, I have a lot to say. Hopefully this video won't be too long, but famous last words, ha ha ha, Amy's saying hopefully your video won't be too long. Kind of like when I say I'm trying to write shorter blog posts. Okay, right. Anyway, here's the thing. If you are very, very heavy, if you are very overweight, a very large person, then losing weight probably will improve your life, possibly vastly improve your life. If your mobility is limited because of your size, or if maybe you have a lot of wear and tear on your joints and you have pain when you try to move a lot, or due to your size, if you can't participate in certain activities that you would like to participate in, go on an airplane and only have to buy one seat. Sometimes they actually make larger people pay for 2 seats if you take up 2 seats. Fit in a restaurant booth, a movie theater seat, what have you. Then certainly losing weight and having a smaller body can have a really positive impact on your life. But if that's not the case for you, if you are at a weight that, you'd like to lose some weight, but your current weight, your current size is not interfering with your life in any way. It's not, your mobility is not limited in any way. You are not prevented from doing anything you would want to do because your size is preventing you, right? Your size is not an obstacle to you participating in all the activities of life that you have a desire to participate in. So if that's the case, why are you trying to lose weight? Is it for vanity? Do you think you will look prettier? Do you think you will be more handsome? Do you think you'll be sexier? Do you think you'll be more attractive to the opposite sex or the same sex or whoever you are interested in being attractive to? Not that those are bad things. Like, again, zero judgment here. But ask yourself why are you doing this? Because the other aspect of that is, what are you willing to do to accomplish that, right? If you really, really want a smaller body than the one you're living in, what lengths are you willing to go to get there? And are the reasons you want to get there strong enough and powerful enough to compel you to do those actions you would have to do to get there? And before I forget, I got to go back to the thing when I said, are you just, is it vanity? Vanity's not necessarily vanity, the word, has a negative connotation, but if we associate vanity, it's not the right word, but if having a smaller body is going to make you feel more confident or more attractive, whether or not you actually are more attractive to anyone, if it makes you feel more attractive inside, sexier, more confident, and you just move through time and space in a nicer way, and it helps you maybe even interact with others in a more pleasant way, great. That's a perfectly legitimate reason to want to have a smaller body. But let's, again, no notes. This is what happens when I just have no script and I just, say whatever comes out of the old pie hole, as it were. So, one thing I can tell you is that for some people, maybe losing weight, having a smaller body, having a different shape will bring more confidence, will bring more joie de vivre, whatever you want to call it. For some people, it doesn't. And I know that sounds cliche. If you are a heavy person, and if you've been a heavy person for most of your life and you've struggled with weight for most of your life, then I totally understand that it can be very difficult to process somebody else telling you your life isn't going to change when you lose weight. Because if you spent a lot of your life thinking, if only ... if only I were thinner, if only I could lose weight, if only I was a size 4, if only I was a size 34 if you're a man, a 34 waist, whatever, if that's even, I don't even know what a normal waist for a man is, maybe a 36, whatever. I think 34 is kind of small, isn't it? I don't even know. And that's US measurements, of course. If you're watching this overseas, whatever centimeters it would be, I don't know. If, like I said, for some people that will help them with confidence, but I can tell you, you can just bring up if you go on my YouTube channel, click on the videos tab when it brings up all the thumbnails, especially if you're watching from a desktop computer rather than like a phone, because you can see many, many thumbnails at a time on a computer screen. You can see very clearly fluctuations in my weight. It's up, it's down. I've been larger than I am right now. I've been much smaller than I am right now. And I never really felt that much different about myself. Now, granted, I've never really I haven't fluctuated, 20 or 30 pounds in either direction. It hasn't been like a huge change, but it's noticeable enough to me, noticeable in my clothing, noticeable in like even when I look at myself right now, I can see it in my face, my arms, I can see I'm larger than I used to be, and we'll address that maybe in another video. But the way that I feel about myself hasn't really changed much. If it's easy, when you have struggled with weight all your life, it's easy to put your hope and faith into the notion that if you get thinner, or when you are thinner, your whole life's going to change for the better. Your whole life is going to improve. And I wish that were true. Do you know how nice it would be if that were true? I mean, how much easier would it be to do the actions you need to do to get to where you want to go, physically speaking, if you knew for a fact that your life would be roses and perfection if you were just in a smaller size body? if only that were the truth. Because if you are a heavy person who hates your job and you lose weight, you're just going to be a thinner person who hates their job. If you are living in a loveless marriage, then if you lose weight, you're going to be a smaller person in a loveless marriage. If you, I don't know what else going on, if you have very low self-esteem, guess what? You're going to be a thinner person who probably still has low self-esteem. If your self-esteem is tied to your body size, you might have a little bump in self-esteem. Like, I'm not denying that that is, in modern society, we are such a visual society. Of course, many of us have self-esteem things tied to our size and shape. So for some people, yeah, you will feel a little better. But for most people, a lack of self-esteem is really not coming from the size and shape of your body. There's something very internal that you feel is lacking from your life, or that you are lacking, such that you are not accomplishing things you want to accomplish. Everyone else is doing better. Believe, like, this is my own inner monologue. I speak from personal experience. So I'm not pretending that this is true for everybody, but I can say that if there happens to be any other human on the planet who is a little bit like me in the slightest, then losing weight isn't going to be an instant pathway to improved self-esteem and self-confidence. It can help. I'm not pretending it doesn't help, but it doesn't fix everything. Now, the reason I was showing my book is that, and by the way, if you buy the paperback version of the book or even the electronic, you will not have this gray line across the cover. This is like proof copy, not for resale, not for resale. This was literally the first print copy that existed. When you do a self-published book and you put it on Amazon, you have to order a hard copy yourself so you can look through it and make sure it's good to go before you release it for sale for the public. So yours will not have this gray banner across it. Anyway, I have an entire chapter, chapter 2, can you see it? Setting your expectations. I have an entire chapter on, do you even need to lose weight? You know, I think a lot of us have a very distorted self-perception. Time for a coffee sip break? So, I think a lot of us have a distorted sense of our body size and shape, and that's actually called body dysmorphia, D-Y-S-M-O-R-P-H-I-A, body dysmorphia. And I think some of us don't necessarily have that really extremely, but we maybe just have a distorted perception of how large we are. You know, they did an experiment. You can probably like find this on YouTube somewhere. They did an experiment a while back where they had, I think it was women and men, but I haven't seen it in a long time, so I might be remembering it a little wrong. So I'll just say people. They had people. There was a big wall. They gave people chalk, and they were like, draw an outline of yourself. Draw what you believe to be your approximate size and shape. And if I recall correctly, just about everybody made themselves significantly wider and larger than they actually are, because they put their chalk outline, then they stood up against the wall with that chalk outline, and someone actually traced their actual shape. And they could walk away and look back at the wall like, whoa, I'm so much smaller than I thought, or I'm a little smaller than I thought, or, oh my goodness, I'm so much bigger than I realized. Either way, most of us do not have a good sense of how big or small we are. And this may be especially true if you have lost a lot of weight and you are now living in a smaller body than you may have been for years or decades. If you were, for example, a woman who was a size 24, 22, and you're now a size 12 or a size 8, it takes a really, really long time for the mind and the eyes to catch up with the physical body. It really, not that the eyes, you know, and the mind aren't inside the physical body, but you know what I mean. It takes a long time for our perception to catch up with the tangible physical reality of our bodies. And I remember even when I had lost a bunch of weight, my highest size was about a US 18, and I don't know what that is in in like overseas, different other countries. In the US, women's size 18. And my smallest was about a 4. I'm definitely not a 4 anymore, but I'm not an 18. I'm somewhere in the middle of those. But I remember going into a store to buy some clothing, and I had already been smaller than an 18 for quite a while, but I knew I was, anyway, I was flipping through some sweaters on a display, and the sales lady comes over and she said, "Can I help you find a size?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm looking for extra large." And she kind of like gave me the up and down, and she was like, "I think you're a medium." And guess what? I was a medium. Like, I ended up buying the medium orange sweater. In fact, I've worn that sweater in some previous videos. So the point is, we are not always the best judges, especially if we are already significantly smaller than we used to be. We tend to think we're still that same size. We gravitate toward the larger size we wore 4 years ago or 6 months ago. Even like when you're trying to navigate through a room or something, if there's like a chair near a wall or some obstacle, and you're looking at the space in between and you think, "Oh, I can't possibly fit there," so you don't even try, or you're like trying to suck in and like squeeze through the space. Meanwhile, you could have just walked right through because you're a lot smaller than you think you are. So anyway, I'm getting off track. Setting expectations. The Stall Slayer is about breaking fat loss stalls on keto, but one of the things you have to ask yourself if you're interested in losing weight is, should I be losing weight? Or am I actually already at a perfectly appropriate size and weight and shape for my age, for my gender, for my activity level, for whatever? It's okay to have some body fat. Women especially, you are supposed to have a little bit of fat. If you get I can't even say too thin. I have to say if you have too little body fat, because it's specific to fat. If you have too little body fat, you will not menstruate. You will lose your period. That is not a good sign. That's a sign that your body is in crisis. And men too, if you get way too little body fat, you will go stark raving mad. Women will too, but women, like the menstruation, will be a sooner tip off that things are going awry. But we are not supposed to be skeletons. We have flesh, we have fat. We don't need to have tons and tons of excess fat, but we're not supposed to be skeletal. And I think, in the book, in the chapter about the expectations, I give some recommendations for assessing whether or not it's appropriate for you to be interested in weight loss, and don't necessarily go by yourself. One of the things I suggest is ask a trusted friend or relative, trusted to the point that you have to be okay with what they tell you. Because maybe they're going to tell you, "You know what, actually, Amy, you are getting a little squishy these days. You probably could lose a few pounds." Or they're going to tell you, "Oh my God, Amy, I'm so glad you asked because you've already lost so much weight. I'd be worried about you if you lost more. I think you're exactly where you need to be. You look great. You feel great." Get an objective opinion from somebody who's not you. Maybe even a doctor or a nutritionist or a personal trainer, someone that can sort of assess but you have to be mentally and emotionally prepared to receive whatever answer they're going to give you. You kind of have to agree ahead of time, let's not let this ruin whatever relationship we have. So maybe better to ask a stranger, I don't know. But the point is, we ourselves are not always the best judge. And you're gonna make yourself crazy trying to break a fat loss stall when you're not in a fat loss stall because your body is already exactly where it wants to be. You might want to be 2 pounds thinner or 10 pounds thinner or whatever, or I should say lighter, right? 10 pounds lighter. But if your health is perfectly good and your weight is not interfering with your health whatsoever, it's not interfering with your mobility, it's not, again, preventing you from doing any of the life activities you want to do, then what is the why? Why are you trying to lose the weight? Because you think you'll look better in a size 8 instead of a 10, or a size 4 instead of a 6, or, again, not that there's anything wrong with that. Whatever you want to achieve is your business. But, coffee break. you have to understand, you know, not your body might not be cut out to be a size 4 or to have a 33-inch waist. And if you're trying to sort of shoehorn yourself into that, it's going to take a lot more than just garden variety keto or garden variety low carb. You're going to probably have to deprive yourself of food. You're going to have to feel hungry a lot of the time. If you're trying to shove that square peg into the round hole, that doesn't fit. And if you're going to try to force it through, you're going to have to jam it through and do all these things that are unnatural, and possibly uncomfortable, possibly even dangerous. So it's up to you. If that's still your goal and you still want to get there anyway, do it. But don't be surprised if just eating a low carb diet or just doing a keto diet or even doing a keto diet and exercise, don't be surprised if those aren't enough to get you to where you want to go, if where you want to go is not a place your body wants to be. I think I even have, let's see if I can find it. I have a quote in here, and I did not make up this line. I wish I knew who did, because I would have credited them. Do you see that? Keto, in that gray square. Keto can make you as lean as you can be, but that might not be as lean as you want to be. Keto will get you here, let's say. If you want to be here, you're going to have to do more than just keto. And again, with the sort of setting proper expectations, let me see if I can read one more. Okay. What else do I say here? There's another quote that I want to try to find. Here it is. Again, in the gray text box. I suggest not having a goal weight at all. Goals, yes. A goal weight, no. And here's why. When your happiness, your satisfaction, your determining whether or not you've reached your goal is tied to a number on a scale, or even tied to a size goal, to an inch goal or a centimeter or a belt loop goal, whatever it is. If your goal is tied to that thing, then what happens if you get there and you're still not happy? Let's say you want to be 128 pounds. Well, one day you get on the scale, I'm 128 pounds. And then you look in the mirror and you're still not happy. Now, oh, well, I thought I'd be happy at 128, but I guess I'm going to have to be 125 or 120. What if you work really, really hard to get there and you're still miserable? Look at all the time and effort. Look at all the stuff you did for yourself to get there. And instead of celebrating and feeling great, you feel like a failure. Or on the flip side of that, what if, okay, I want to be 128 pounds. Let's say you get on the scale and you're 135. So you're a couple pounds away from your goal weight, but you're looking at yourself like, wow, oh my God, I think I actually look okay. I bought myself this nice dress. I think, oh my God, I think for the first time in my life, I'm happy with what I see in the mirror. But I'm 135. Would it be okay for you to just say, I guess I don't need to be 128. I guess I'm perfectly happy at 135 or 155 or 185 or whatever it is. I'm just picking like numbers out of the air. I really hate number goals for that reason, because you could get there and be miserable, and you could fall short and be perfectly thrilled. So, and again, I would say the same thing, not just about a scale number, but about a size or whatever. It's just that we tend to focus so much on that damn scale, right? And I'll link to a video I did not long ago on staying off the darn scale. I think I called it the dang scale with the little A symbol. It looks like dong scale. It's not the dong scale. Those of you watching from overseas, dong is maybe a little slang English US term for the male anatomy, shall we say. It's not the dong scale. I meant it to look like stay off the dang scale. I should probably just retitle the video. Anyway, I'll put a link to that because I explained in that video all these reasons why your scale weight can be very misleading, especially if you're only a few pounds away from where you want to be, or you're only looking to lose 5 to 10 pounds. If you're starting from a very, very high weight, then you can sort of trust the scale at first, because as it goes down, you're losing weight. Anyway, watch the video. What else do I want to say? Okay, right. I want to read one little thing. Okay. Check in with yourself periodically to assess whether you're satisfied with where you are in terms of your weight, size, and shape, or if you'd like to change in some way. This is especially important if you started out with a goal weight or body fat percentage, meaning a precise number you were looking to get to. It's possible to get there and still be unhappy, or to not be there yet, but feel great and be perfectly content with where you are. This is why it's important to assess things once in a while. You might surprise yourself because maybe you're already happy with things as they are and you didn't even realize it. You were waiting for a number on a scale or a body scan to tell you you'd arrived when you'd already been there for a while. So let's round things out. We're coming up on just shy of 30 minutes. It's okay to want to lose weight. It is okay, and I'm going to do a video soon on what they call the Health at Every Size movement, HAES. Some people just say HAES for short. It's a very, very important issue to me personally and professionally. So I'm going to talk more about weight loss and all the crazy cultural issues around weight loss. But for now, it's not a bad thing to want to lose weight, especially if, again, your weight is interfering with your ability to just navigate life and to participate in the things you want to do. But if that's not an issue, like for me, as an example, I'm happy with my physical health. My weight doesn't stop me from doing anything I want to do, unless if you count wearing a size 4 as something I want to do, because I don't fit into that stuff anymore. It's all in my closet, but it's not preventing me from going and doing anything that I want or need to go and do. So for me, part of it is vanity. I am happier with how I look when I'm a little smaller. So is that good or bad? It's just what is. And for me also, the weight, if you watched my grocery hauls recently, my diet was not that great, but it's not that different from how it's always been, and I was smaller. And you've probably heard me talk a lot about my thyroid stuff. Every few months I do have to adjust my dose, and I'm kind of in one of those phases now. I think I'm starting to feel much better. But for me, again, my weight, my diet really doesn't change that much. So even, I'm not always super, super crazy strict keto. That's not new for me. So when I start to put on weight with no change to my diet or exercise routine, that's one of my signs that my medication is not appropriate, because it's never just weight for me. It's the weight, it's lower leg swelling. I normally have I usually actually like the shape of my legs. It's one part of my body that I can say I genuinely usually like. But when my thyroid medicine is not, appropriate, I tend to get really swollen ankles, really just my legs look like tree trunks. And I start to lose hair like crazy, like terrifying, alarming amounts of hair loss. Constipation, really, really bad constipation, TMI. So it's not just weight for me. The weight is like a proxy. It's a sign to me that there's a lot of other stuff going on that needs to be corrected too. I don't know if there's anything else for me to say about this, but yeah, ask yourself why you want to lose weight, and what are you willing to do? There's a whole subtitle section. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to make the extra sacrifices beyond just a keto diet or a keto diet and exercise? Are you willing to go the extra lengths you might have to go to get to where you want to be? So You know, I look at some of the people on Instagram that, like, especially the Fitspo, the fitness people, the, you know, like posing with all their muscles. They are not just doing keto. For some of them, their life revolves around their physique. The timing of meals, the timing of not eating meals, counting every last thing to the microgram, you know, exercising and lifting even maybe when they don't want to. It's not a judgment. I'm just saying that they don't look that way just because they're doing the Atkins diet or because they're doing a keto diet. So if you want to get to a place like that, that's totally cool, but you have to be willing to make those sacrifices. And if you're not, that's why you are not happy with how you look. And me too. Me too. My gym closed. Obviously, my gym is closed. So my workout routine has changed a little bit. I'm not going to pretend it hasn't. And that is definitely having an effect. I could work out at home. I have a set of dumbbells. Push-ups are free. Planks are free. If you watch Ted Naiman stuff, it's all this body weight stuff is free. Do I do it? No, because I don't want to work out in my apartment. So I have to accept that. Am I willing to do the things I would have to do right now? Apparently no. I don't know whether the answer for you is yes or no, but I'm over 30 minutes now, so I'm going to shut up. I'm going to have one more sip of coffee. And I will bid you farewell. Thank you, as always, for watching. If you find any of my videos valuable, if you like Keto Without the Crazy, please subscribe. I'm also on Patreon, patreon.com/2itnutrition. There's a link below. And that's it for now. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.